on technical
Absolutely.
play.
6-6.
I mean, Willie's been putting up great results,
And experience.
but he's more experienced. Doesn't have the big blunder on his resume either.
Right.
I mean, I feel like Edel's playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He feels like he's got something to prove.
Absolutely.
I mean, he knows he threw away Kobe.
Right.
He knows that he actually had Jan Moritz Merkel dead to rights in the last game, and you know what? He counted. He thought he had 12 guys. It turned out there were only 11 getting through for damage, and he just miscounted and made an alpha attack that he thought was lethal, and it wasn't.
Right. And I talked to him a little later on. He had made some excuse about a morph or a card, but he said later he just realized he did screw up, and he just was trying to come up with some justification for it. But I mean, you can't argue with his. It's one mistake in the finals. I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Right. Most people make them in round 2, and they never get to Sunday in the first place.
And we're not convinced that Kenji does, though, right? Yavimaya Dryad. There's a way to punch through.
It's true.
For Willie.
Now, if Rachegar was saying after the draft, Force Walk could be very relevant to this match.
This game's very close, and he does have Wormwood Dryads to bring in. One Wormwood Dryad to bring in game 2.
Willie does.
Sounds like the Irvin Tormos match is indeed quite bogged down with dead cards in Irvin's hand.
Yeah, Irvin got his Rebel Chain going, so he's able to get some card advantage there, but all that's really done is to cancel out the Sun Lances and the Mana Ties that are rotting in his hand.
Well, Mana Tide is an interesting card. I mean, I'm curious to see what people think of that card as a limited card. It's obviously going to be amazing and constructed. I know some people who really like it in limited. I did an interview did a podcast recently with John Finkel was on it. We were doing white pick orders, and John, wasn't going to be in originally, and he jumped into the podcast just to make sure people knew that Mana Tide was terrible, and felt it had no place in limited. I mean, I don't know if he's right or not.
Well, there's the Forest Walker coming over. Kenji takes 2 down to 8.
So really, Edel needs to successfully jump block for 5 turns.
Do you just start serving with Firemaw, Kavu?
I think he's going to have to. A lot of mana in play this game on both sides.
Yeah. Pretty bogged down board. Edel's got a Baloth, a White Man Lion, a couple of morphs.
And Kenji is pushing his Firemaw up into the red zone. Nudging his Firemaw, counting up, seeing if that's what he wants to do. So, here comes 6 mana. Is this another Firemaw, Kavu? No, it's a Dirkwood Baloth. So we've got a 4/4. Herdnar.
Kenji knows he has to go on the aggressive. Has to be aggressive here. He's going to get Forest Walk to death. He's got to find a way to sort of punch through damage. There's a 5/5 over there.
You're getting close to the point where Edel can just attack with everybody and strengthen numbers. The Forest Walker.
Yeah, he's got to be a little worried about that. So Kenji sends in the Firemaw Kavu and the Herdnar.
Which is a 4/4 right now.
Sending those into a 5/5 Baloth, so does that
Edel
mean he's got strength in numbers? He's also got the... he played Thrill of the Hunt as well, right? Should get the job done here.
Also, 2 White Mane Lions. You can keep blocking for a long time.
True.
Must then Ursat's capsize with buyback on one attacker.
Have we gotten a look at Willie's hand?
The only thing I've seen there are lands.
So Willie looks like he's going to put White Mane Lion in front of Firemaw Kavu. He's going to put a Morph in front of the Herdnar.
Smells like a Shaper Parasite.
Or a Slipstream Serpent.
That's Slipstream mana.
Yep. So the Serpent takes out Herdnar. Firemaw Kavu is going to die. Kenji's dealing, looks like 4 to the Baloth, which means...
Tribal Flames, the Slipstream Serpent. I imagine he's got Grape Shot in hand. That's right. Oh, Mage's taps for mana too, huh?
Yeah, it does. Grape Shot. Grape Shot is able to take out the Baloth and the Forest Walker. Wow. Great turn for Kenji Samura.
And he just wins on his next attack.
Yeah, all of a sudden, he's down to, Willie Edel is down to just a morph.
Look at Kenji. Kenji always has that just, you talked about it yesterday, that assassin stare.
He's stoic. He's actually got like a great poker face at this point. Except there's something a little more intimidating than a poker face. It's more deadly than mere blankness.
It's confidence.
Yeah, that's right. Cold, calculating, cool, calm.
I mean, where is Kenji right now in your mind in sort of the pantheon of great players?
Interesting. I mean, he's threatening to knock on the door of the top 5.
I mean, he's certainly at the same place Oiso was.
Sure, a year or two ago.
Right.
So Edel played a second morph. Kenji is lining up for the kill. What's the attack here?
Well, he doesn't know what the morphs are. He attacks with everybody here. I mean, is he just going to send in Scarwood Treefolk and Baloth? I think he can safely send in... Is he just saying go?
Huh.
Interesting.
That surprises me.
It's not like
Seems like he's got an advantage there that he should be pressing.
He's worried about the morphs. I guess he feels like he has time.
5 creatures to 2 on the board. How many cards?
I mean, the shaman is good to take down most morphs. I mean, it takes down a Fathom Seer. You don't have to worry about that trick. If he has the Shaper Parasite,
right?
Then he has the Shaper Parasite there. Edel's at 7. He could certainly send in the big guys. He's got 2 5 toughness creatures. Sounds like that smells like it's gonna be a Deadwood Treefolk from Edel.
Yes. Deadwood Treefolk regrows Baloth.
No, Yavimaya Dryad.
Regrows the Forest Walker, sure. Thins another land out of his deck.
And gets a kill.
Gets a Forest Walking threat into play. How much removal does Kenji's deck actually have? We saw him use Tribal Flames and Grape Shot last turn.
Kenji has a Utopia Vow. He has a Dead Gone. He has a Tribal Flames. He has an Orcish Cannonade. And he has a Grape Shot. Those are all... And he's the 2 Firemaw Kavus.
Right, so he's still got a Firemaw Kavu left. And speak of the devil. Firemaw Kavu. Down goes Yavimaya Dryad. Oh, is he going to save it with Shaper Parasite?
Give it +0, +2.
That'll do, right?
Plus, or -2, +2, I should say.
-2, +2, so... Kenji came up with the second Firemaw Kavu. He's down just a Dead Gone for removal at this point, I believe. And facing off against a Forest Walker. Seems like he's got the advantage on the board, but he's not attacking.
I feel like this game is slipping away from Kenji. Seems like there was this window where he could have attacked. I mean, obviously he was worried about the Parasite.
Uh-huh. Get that out of the way, though, and then the Firemaw Kavu.
He still has 2 5 toughness creatures were pretty much out of range.
Right.
I guess he felt like he had the Firemaw combo for Evolution Charm. He's making his Deadwood Treefolk fly.
Interesting. Just trying to crunch over from some damage, and there's Psionic Blast for the win! Willie Edel, wow! See, almost out of nowhere. The board was stalemated. Kenji seemed like he had control of things, and all of a sudden, the Treefolk regrows the Forest Walker. Kenji?
Seemed like he blinked to me.
Interesting.
I mean, I really feel like he had to attack there into the 2 Morphs.
I agree. I thought he needed to attack there as well. Just get Shaper Parasite out of the way, then the Firemaw Kavu turns on the Firemaw Kavu, but instead it's Willie Edel who pulls off a very well-played game. Treefolk's back to Forest Walker, and then he goes for the kill on the last turn, sends a Treefolk to the air with Evolution Charm, gets Kenji within Side Blast range, and blam! Willie Edel takes a 1-0 lead. These are best 3 out of 5 matches. Both players go to their sideboards now to decide what they want to do with these decks. Hey, Rich, what's going on the other 2 tables, the side tables? So let's go get some updates on the other tables. Let's go down to Rich Hagon. He's been watching the match on the back table between Atron and Marin Lebert. What happened down there, Rich?
One has gone 2-0 up.
Wow.
Moraine Libert cast Thysis to drop my Atron to 4.
Okay.
Atron casts Trump the Domains, puts Moraine down to 1, but then he's tapped out, and you're thinking, okay, you better make a guy, and Moraine better not have any removal. He makes a worm off Worm Calling. Moraine draws his 3rd card, looks, land, nothing. Nope, that's 2-0.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Shingo Kurihara against Irvin Tormos, that's actually got quite interesting because it turns out that Flickering Spirit for Tormos, it may be quite clunky, but it does fly, and it doesn't die very easily against Blue-White. And basically, the life total for Shingo has kind of gone 18, 16, 14, you get the gist. Right now, he's sitting on 2 life. The board is quite complicated, but as it would be with Blue-White. But Kurihara is really hanging on against Flickering Spirit. Meanwhile, in the final game of the 4, Jim Harold, with his World of Red removal, up against Osawa. There are so many cards in those 2 graveyards, it's untrue. Right now, far too close to call. They're both back and forth. Even the Boggart and Hellkite wasn't enough.
What did the Boggart and Hellkite do?
Boggart and Hellkite came in, basically put a Corpulent Corpse in the bin, a little bit to the face to Osawa. But meanwhile, Osawa again seems to be back in possession. There's a Melancholy on Harold's Prodigal Sorcerer. Sting Scourge has done his job for Harold, but that's all he's got. I guess you'd slightly favour Osawa, but they're still in game 1. Back to you guys.
All right, so still in game 1 between Harold and Osawa. Still in game 1 between Kurihara and Tormos. Willie Edel up a game, and Atron up 2 games.
Well, moving along pretty quickly here.
Edel and Sumura go to their sideboards. You think they have any interesting technology waiting for them there?
I'm sure Edel brought in. I'm sure Edel brought in his Wormwood Dryad.
Sure.
Another Forest Walker, which was the difference in the first game.
Sure.
I mean, he has a Might Sliver. He has a Scarwood Treefolk he could be bringing in. I'm not sure. It looked like he brought in 2 cards. Looking at Kenji's list, doesn't seem like there's anything terribly exciting. Craw Giant might be kind of nice in this match. Kind of difficult to block. If you're going to play a long ground game, Craw Giant just keeps getting in there.
Any enchantment removal?
He's got a Molder.
Would you bring that in?
What did we...
I mean, Giant Dust Wasp would have won the game.
Just for the Utopia Battle, that's kind of interesting. I mean, the Molder seems okay there.
I mean, if
it's a long game and you think
if he had drawn Molder in that game, he would have won because there was no flying defense from Willie Edel at any point during the game. Kenji's 3/3 flyer just sat there and watched a very long game. It would have dealt 30 or 40 damage by then. Right?
Would you bring it in there?
I think
you've only seen 1 enchantment.
You've seen 1, but you've seen 1 key enchantment, and you've only seen half his deck. So odds are, what's the expected value of relevant artifacts and enchantments? 1.5 at this stage, something like that. He hasn't seen all of Edel's deck.
Right.
Right, so there could be another one that he just hasn't seen yet.
Sure. And it's safe to assume there's 1 more.
I mean, I think there's at least 1, and there might be 2. Oh, we have a result in. It sounds like Takuya Usawa has taken game 1 from Jim Harold. Now, you thought Harold had the best deck at the table. But in the long attrition war, Usawa got the job done.
He does have 3 Tysuses for those giant fatties.
I like Usawa in that match.
I feel like Harold has to go to the empty the Warrens plan to win over that
Oh, interesting.
deck. He just needs to build.
Is that not the way
trade.
he built his deck?
No, he did. I'm saying I think that's going to have to be his game plan now that he's seen Osawa's deck and seen these really powerful removal spells. I think he has to build up to a giant storm count and really put like 12 guys into play and just, hit you for 10, hit you for 7, hit you for 5.
And another result.
Sounds like the Flickering Spirit.
Irvin Tormos and his Flickering Spirit got the job done.
Got those last 2 points across.
So Tormos takes a 1-0 lead over Shingu Kurihara. He flashed out a Crook Claw Transmuter and then just overloaded on flying.
Be interesting to see if Irvin feels like he has to go to his green plan.
Right.
Post sideboard.
Yeah, we'll have Rich go take a look at that. Pretty interesting decision for Irvin Tormos.
I mean, he certainly just has some dead cards that he's gonna want to take.
Yeah,
out.
I mean, it sounds like he spent that game staring at the Sunlances.
Well,
Rich says he's still looking at Trick Bind.
I'll bet you
Is
that.
this good? I don't know.
I'll bet you Osawa would have liked to have had a Trick Bind when he was flickering out the Flickering Spirit.
Kurihara.
Sorry. Wrong match.
All right, Willie Edel draws up a hand. Had forced to take 1 mulligan, but he's going to keep these 6. Kenji on the play. Down a game. Rada Erdekeld on turn 2. Much better.
Right, going into the third pack, when we were watching the draft, we felt Kenji needed
2 drops.
Found one in Rada.
Coral Trickster just comes down on turn 2. I think Edel quite content to block here. Kenji's got Cannonade, but no second red mana.
Now it's curious. See, he's got.
Now, what is Rada's ability exactly?
Rada gives him 2 red when he attacks, and he's going to use that red to Orcish Cannonade and 4 blockers.
There you go.
And draw a card.
And then Kenji ships the turn.
Interesting.
Now he agrees with you, by the way. He's got the Dusk Wasp in his hand, and he's got the mana available to suspend it, but he knows he doesn't have suspend.
On turn 3, you don't want to suspend it.
Right.
He figures he'll get 2 more land sooner than the suspend will wear off the suspend 4.
Right.
And ideally, he'd like to have it in play on turn 5 instead of turn, 7.
And there's the Dryad. Edel plays his Forest Walker. Kenji taps 5 for turn 4 Dusk Wasp.
Oh, Rada taps for mana also.
Yes.
Just taps for mana. How nice.
She's a